I'm Jessica Gares, and I'm a theater and film artist from Saskatchewan. So I got into theater, performing, film through a competitive dance background growing up. Really loved performing live for an audience, and that kind of got me into a love for acting. So after high school, I went to Vancouver Film School. I'd studied acting there, so got the theater perspective or film perspective, as well as went into theater because of my love for live performance. Right now in my career, I'm exploring a lot of cool different things. I'm still acting as much as I can in theater and film, but I've also kind of branched out. I've written some things for film. I've kind of pivoted into directing as well for both film and theater. Gabe, you cannot go up against her. You don't know who she is.
She's nobody. She's just a blind woman trying to prove a point.
Exactly. You don't know who she is.
What? And you do?
Yeah, I'm a dealer, remember?
What's that got
She's
to...
my dealer.
She's a spectrum dealer?
She's the spectrum dealer. Has been for a long time. She controls the whole market.
But she's blind.
She doesn't let that get in her way, and she's not gonna let you get in her way either. It was really stupid to go into that house, and it was really fucking stupid to tell her about it. But starting a fight with her is insane.
You couldn't have told me this a week ago when she turned up?
You're gonna criticize me for not telling you something. Why do you think she was there? I heard she had a plan of getting into art as well as spec. She's always looking for something else she can deal in, some way to expand. And so I told her about you. I set it all up. Do you know how rarely she's even out in the tunnels? And I organized it for you, you wanker, so that she'd be there and hear about you and hear the reactions to your paintings. I got you the chance, and this is what you do. You fuck it all up and think you can come up with some plan to rob the person who's trying to help you, the person I rely on.
What are you doing getting me mixed up in a spectrum dealer? I'm out, remember?
I got you the chance of a lifetime. If it had worked out, we all would have benefited. Instead, I get this. Now I have to watch my back too after your confession in there. So if you even think about getting those paintings, Gabe, if you're even considering some shit for brain scheme, just remember what happened last time you got ideas in your head. You cost us both. Don't think it'll be any different if you tried against the wolf. She's more dangerous than any enlightened cunt with a swimming pool.
Sita, I'll make it up to you. I don't know how, but I'll find Danny.
Tell work I quit. So the first piece I did was from a play called Lux by Eli Thorne. So I met Eli when I was in Amsterdam for the last year, and I was actually going to assistant direct the play with him. But with the COVID situation, things kept getting pushed back, and it got to the point that my visa expired and I had to come home. But it's a really beautiful play. It's a really cool world that he's created. So this was a great opportunity for me to kind of explore that character from another perspective and still kind of have a connection to it. So I got into directing just from watching actors. It's something that I always thought that I'd like, but didn't really have enough confidence or know much about it. But just from being in classes with other actors and having impulses for how to direct them. Some of them aligned with directors in the room and some of them didn't, but it was things that I wanted to test out with actors. So I got the opportunity to direct my first play in Regina actually a couple of years ago with Shoulderbirds Productions, and it was a really great experience working with actors, having that feedback, being on the other side. And I also think it's an advantage being an actor and knowing that side of things. And I ended up winning best runner-up to best director for that. So I was like, okay, maybe I still have a ton to learn, but maybe I have something to offer here. So community's played a massive role in my craft. I moved to Vancouver right out of high school, so I'm actually trying to find that community since coming back to Saskatchewan. But I know for sure, like the people that I know in London and in England through the Camden Fringe Festival are people that I still speak to every day. And they're people that we can just put on a show, have a little idea, maybe put something on film, and definitely is very like motivating and inspiring to have creative people in my life. And definitely since being back, I've already started to see and find the creative people here. So yeah, really excited about that. I think theater is important on so many levels, and I think we see that especially with the last couple years that we've had, the kind of need for connection with people. I feel like theater is a great opportunity to make a statement, to say something, to shift the culture and open people's eyes to other points of view. I feel like that's part of why I'm involved in it, is it's this way of like showing people a story of what the world could be without having to get into any sort of direct one-on-one conflicts. You can kind of just explore the world and explore different points of view. To better my art, I work at it every day. Different things, do my morning pages, connect with other artists, watch as much as I can, as many kind of foreign films as I can. Any sort of play that I hear about, I try and go to, no matter how small or big it is. And I feel like it always helps me grow. And then just continuing to like challenge myself and put myself in scary situations that I don't necessarily think I'm ready for, is the only way I've ever kind of grown. So she asked me to watch her puppy, Oscar, and I said, sure, no problem. How bad could it be to watch an innocent, harmless, tiny little puppy, right? Wrong. It was a nightmare if I ever heard of one. Look at me. Do you see the bags under my eyes? I look like I went 12 rounds with Muhammad Ali. I look horrible. She says it's like, no big deal. She's like, Sarah, do you mind watching my puppy for me for like 3 days? I'm like, no problem. This dog has not stopped barking with its tiny squeaky meow, 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 all through the night. Just meow, 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 like a dog howling in the night. Kept me up. I was tossing and turning some more. I felt like a 1980s breakdancer. So finally, it's time to go to work. I'm actually excited to go to work for once in my life. Somehow work is a better option than staying home with meow, meow, meow. But I step foot in the kitchen and go sliding across the kitchen and smack down on my back. I have bruises the size of boulders. Dog pee-pee. Yeah, it's messed up. The dog's messed up, and Cheryl is so messed up for suckering me into watching her, I can't even think of another insult for that, I'm done. I get home, he's torn on my couch. My new couch that I just got from Levitt's, great deal by the way, is destroyed. And where's Oscar? Oscar, the expert trapeze artist, has positioned himself on top of my kitchen counters. Did I mention how tiny this puppy is? The size of my foot. Don't know how he got on top of the cabinets. Miracle of God. Anyway, he can't get down. The genius is afraid to jump. And that's fair enough. I'll give him that. But there's dog poo and pee-pee strewn all about. I'm just gonna stop talking before I find myself passed out in a hospital from dog anxiety. And my last monologue, dog anxiety. I thought it was a very cute piece. I was actually watching Seinfeld, and the tone of it really seemed similar to me, and I really kind of like that kind of a little bit more kind of brash, quirky New York kind of style comedy, which I think it fit right in with, and it was just tons of fun. Yeah, advice that I'd give somebody who wants a career either in film or theater, acting or directing is just follow your instincts. You'll identify people that you can trust and listen to their advice, but also listen to the voice inside. I know that there's a lot of things that if you go to theater school and film school, they're offering you a lot of great stuff that kind of works generally. But there were definitely some things when I was in school and didn't know as much, but something went off. It's that doesn't necessarily seem quite right for me in my journey. There's no one way the road goes. The journey is completely different for everyone. So don't worry if you have to take an extra step that other people aren't doing or whatever it is. Definitely just follow that voice inside, because your instincts know, and you know what you need at the time for sure.